Hi there, I'm Samara Perez, and in this edition of our Players Profile series, we are joined by someone who experienced a very traumatic incident. He'll be sharing that story with us today, but we would like to warn you that there are some disturbing images. Let's welcome Diego Hernandez from North Texas SC. Diego, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We are delighted to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Diego, before we talk about your incident, we would like to get to know a little bit more about you. We know that you are the club's youngest ever player to debut professionally at only 15 years old. Talk to us about your start in soccer and how you fell in love with the sport.
My start in soccer came when I was 3 years old. I have 3 older brothers, and they all play. So from the beginning, I was so eager to play. And when I finally got that opportunity, I just never looked back. On the weekends, my whole family was always at the park. Like, that is where you would find us. And just immediately fell in love with the sport. And it's something that I've, continued throughout my whole life. And I want to continue to keep this part of my life. Now, I was 5 years old when I first started here. And since then, it's just been progressively year after year, just going up the ranks. And the club has given me the opportunities to start playing professionally and, start getting closer to where I want to be.
Now, shifting gears to what we mentioned earlier, you were involved in a serious car accident. What do you recall from that?
I remember turning on my truck, and that's as far as I can tell you. From the accident itself, I have no true recollection of it. But in terms of from investigations, police reports, it was an accident that was very, very hard in terms of I was driving a Ford F-150, and for all of you who have trucks, they're big vehicles. And fortunately, I was struck on my side, which caused my truck to skid and flip for close to 80 yards, almost a football field. And the truck that hit me was a Silverado, going at about 97 miles an hour. And it was something that was, it's very hard to, picture that. But that was more or less how the accident took place.
How did it affect you physically and mentally?
I do believe in miracles. I do believe in a higher power, and I believe that day God was with me. In terms of physical, my body was sore, yes, and I had the usual bruises and scratches, but I didn't break a single bone. In fact, I walked in 2 weeks, and I'm so fortunate for that. But one of the things that did leave a mark on me was that mental side of it, that many players face whenever they face adversity, and that really left a mark on my career and my personal development was that mental recovery.
And how were you able to overcome that?
Obviously, with the help of my family, I have a very, very, very strong support group, as I'm sure, many players have, as their families behind them and supporting them. But truly, I can tell you that when it comes to overcoming that adversity, I have to really shine it back on my faith on God and the facts that, there is power in prayer. And when it comes to prayer and growing in your spiritual faith, that's something very important. And for sure, for me, that was what solidified my recovery process.
Diego, now that you're back on the pitch, what are you hoping to accomplish in your first season with MLS Next Pro?
Well, for sure, I have the goals with my team to win a championship, to go as far as we can. But then there's that individual side where it's my first year, and I have a lot of players around me that are very good players, and I'm going into the season knowing that there's still a lot for me to learn. There's still a lot of areas for me to grow in, and that's what I'm looking towards. To keep growing and keep improving.
Diego, we appreciate you so much for opening up to us and sharing your story with us. You're truly an inspiring example to follow, and we are proud to have you as part of the league.
Thank you, Samara. I appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to today's player profile feature. I'm Samara Perez. We'll see you on the next one.